Hey, you're on Radar. I'm here with Sam from the Rubens. Welcome to Radar.
How you going?
The album's coming out on September 14th, self-titled, debut, all that sort of stuff. The producer you worked on with this album, Dave Kahne, is, I read it on the sheet, but Regina Spektor, The Strokes, Lana Del Rey, Paul McCartney. What advice did he come with the album? Were you like a sponge?
Much. Beg your pardon?
Were you like a sponge and just...
Oh yeah, the whole time. Because we went over there and was such a new band, hadn't experienced any kind of proper recording, and or pre-production or what it takes to really be in a professional band, and so we had to learn that as we went, and he had to teach us, from the start, from scratch. So yeah, we were like sponges. We just had to. He sort of taught us how to write pop songs in a way, because he's a pop producer. He taught us how to sort of make songs into hits that possibly weren't going to be originally, and to sort of take anything that had a potential hook or something like that, and make it interesting and not be too repetitive as well with our songwriting, and trying to keep the song kind of interesting from start to finish. He taught us so much.
Right. So that was the main tip about keeping it interesting, a good hook. Is that how you write a pop song according to him?
Yeah, I mean, we'd written all the songs before we went there, bar one. And so it was mainly just about restructuring any songs that needed to be restructured, trimming the fat in some songs, making sections that don't need to be that long shorter,
Right.
just to make them, singles, I guess. We just wanted to make as many singles as we possibly could because, I don't want to, I hate to use that word, make lots of singles, but, just anything that is catchy and potentially could be put on the radio, and we just want to have as many of them on the record as possible. And when we went there originally, we only had a few that were up to that standard, so he sort of just helped us develop each song. And we really, really did work hard and pick them completely apart and put them back together, and had to relearn how to play them and stuff like that.
That's pretty good that you came close with a couple though. Like if you weren't far off with some.
Yeah.
For a new band, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think Lay It Down was the first song that kicked us off, and I think that just luckily structurally worked as just a solid pop song. Each part kind of is where it needed to be, and it's really obvious that the verse is going to come now, and then now there's going to be a bridge, and then the chorus, and then it's finished, and you listen to it and it just makes sense. And I think it was just sort of by accident maybe, and going to New York we learned how to do that, and how we did that, I guess, and you don't need to do that with every song. Obviously, you need to have an album that with different kinds of songs that do different things and move in different ways. But yeah, I guess we just learnt how to write a pop song if we have to.
Right. And is this, so like My Gun, is that sort of going to be indicative of what the album's going to sound like, or is it going to go,
Somewhat. My Gun sort of shows you the kind of hip hop beat aspect to our album, and that was one thing that David found really interesting when I first had a meeting with him in New York, was that I showed him our demos, but I said, you can hear the drums in these demos, and I want them to be much bigger and fuller, and I'm willing to program beats underneath the live drum sounds to make it sound a bit more hip hop, and basically just to be able to compete with all the songs that are on commercial radio with these huge, samples and stuff like that. If you were to make it like if we were to record in the old style, like an old soul record, the drums would just sound weak and they just couldn't compete. So My Gun does have that kind of big hip hop drum feel, but it's still quite stripped back. And a lot of the songs on the record we've put much more layers into, and there's strings on there. There's a few horn sections here and there. So My Gun is like a real stripped back version of a representation of the record.
Right, because you look at some of the comments. The video's just been out for this. Some of the comments are like, "Oh, I prefer the old version, where it wasn't as produced."
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I was expecting that.
Okay.
And I guess when we were making this record, we knew that there would be people that would be pissed off, because some people, I guess, liked us because we were so raw, and that's okay. But at some point, I couldn't record a whole album in my bedroom, and that wasn't what we were really about. I appreciate the fact that people liked how simple and raw and rough the song sounded, but we wanted to make a record that was good to listen to, and we had the opportunity to do that in New York, so there was no way that we were going to keep it that stripped back. There's no point in going to America and getting a big producer and spending a lot of money and time in a big studio, you know what I mean? We wanted to make something that sounded beautiful.
Mm.